So, what if everything you've ever learned about trading is, well, wrong? What if the real secret to winning wasn't about following the textbook, but about doing the exact opposite? Today, we're going to dig into the story of a trader who found his freedom by betting against pretty much everyone.
Okay, just take a second to let that sink in. In Trading 101, a supply zone is basically a giant sell here sign. It's where you expect the price to fall off a cliff. But this trader, AJ Currency, he says his entire strategy is built on buying directly into that wall of selling. It sounds nuts, right? But believe it or not, this is the key to his whole method. So what does this actually look like in practice? Let's put his philosophy right next to what all the trading books tell you to do. On one hand, you've got conventional wisdom, right? The price hits a ceiling, that supply or resistance zone, and you sell. You expect it to go down. Simple. But AJ, he sees that exact same ceiling and starts looking for a reason to buy, with the goal of smashing right through it. The big question is, why on earth would you do that?
And boom, here's the answer. For AJ, every predictable strategy out there, support and resistance, smart money concepts, you name it, they all create one thing, a giant pool of other traders' money. He sees their obvious entry points, and even more important, their stop losses, as just fuel for the market. And he calls that fuel liquidity.
So this isn't just random, chaotic trading. It's a systematic hunt for that liquidity. Let's take a look at the engine that really drives this whole thing. You know, in AJ's world, liquidity isn't some fancy abstract term. It's real, it's tangible. For him, it's just the massive cluster of stop-loss orders from all the traders who are following the rules. Think about it. When everyone sells at a supply zone, where do they put their safety net, their stop losses? Right above it. For AJ, that cluster of stops isn't a barrier, it's a magnet. That's his target.
So how does he actually do it? Well, first, he finds an obvious spot where he knows traders are going to pile in. Second, he waits for them to actually do it. He needs their money in the market. Third, he finds his own entry point to go in the complete opposite direction. And finally, his one and only goal is to ride the wave that takes out all their stop losses. He's literally trading the inducement.
Now, you'd think a strategy this aggressive would involve some crazy, high-stakes risks, wouldn't you? But here's what's so wild. His risk management is incredibly disciplined. Super conservative, actually. He's not swinging for the fences. He aims for small, consistent wins, just 1.5 to 2 times his risk. And his stop losses, they're fixed and they're tight. He just wants a safe, easy move, not a lottery ticket.
Look, a strategy this unconventional, it doesn't come from a textbook. It comes from life. To really understand why AJ trades against the crowd, you have to understand the personal journey that basically forged this mindset.
Before the success, before the travel, before this unique strategy, there was this number, $250,000 in debt. This was his absolute rock bottom. We're talking a period of his life defined by struggle and addiction, and that's where this whole transformation really begins.
And this change, it didn't happen overnight, not even close. After hitting rock bottom in 2017, he spent 4 straight years trying to learn how to trade without making a single dime in profit. Can you imagine that? 4 years of grinding with nothing to show for it? But that struggle, that's where he built the discipline that defines who he is today.
And here it is, the deep personal why. He felt like he had something to prove, not just to everybody else, but to himself. This incredible drive is why he couldn't just copy-paste someone else's strategy. No, he had to forge his own path, create something that was uniquely his to prove that his way of seeing the world could win.
So what does a life built on this kind of contrarian mindset and intense discipline actually look like? Well, the image you see online, it often hides a much more structured reality.
This is the perception, isn't it? The dream that gets sold online. 5 months traveling across Europe, trading from a sunny balcony with his wife and his dogs. I mean, it is the perfect Instagram highlight reel, but that's just the surface.
The reality is this, a super rigorous, absolutely non-negotiable routine. Every day starts with Wim Hof breathwork and meditation, then it's intense fitness. He only trades during the big market opens, London and New York, and outside of that, he says he lives a very quiet life. That freedom you see, it's earned every single day through extreme discipline.
All right, so after seeing the strategy, the struggle, and the daily grind, what are the big principles we can pull from all this? What are the rules that really govern AJ's success? It really boils down to a few core ideas. First, your edge comes from creating your own method and seeing every other common strategy as just liquidity. Second,
When it comes to trading, you've got to prioritize small, consistent wins and just accept that real, profitable trading, it gets boring. And finally, when it comes to mindset, mastery is about removing bad habits, not just adding new tricks.
Which kind of leaves us with this final thought, right? AJ's entire career is built on this one idea, that the crowd's predictability is the market's biggest weakness. His success makes you wonder, maybe the ultimate edge isn't about having a better crystal ball, maybe it's just about knowing what everyone else is going to do and then doing the opposite.